Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frankly licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as international education advisor, welcoming all you beautiful people once again to come and join me on this live broadcast from my office here in Hamilton, New Zealand. I just got back from a trip to India, met my wonderful team of people there, and we also had a very successful seminar that we conducted for some of the prospects who were interested to come to New Zealand and explore opportunities here. So we held this in the city of Mumbai, and the rain gods were kind to us. And just on that particular morning on Sunday, last Sunday actually, the rains eased off for a while, and that gave us that beautiful window of opportunity to interact with all these people. And we also went live during that whole 2.5, 3 hours of seminar and wonderful interactions. And it was pretty cool to stand there and present our New Zealand opportunities to all those people who took the time and effort to come and participate in that particular session. Big thank you to all of them, and also big thank you to my wonderful team. It was great to be welcomed into India as a licensed immigration advisor. That is my card, my license card, which was something I worked towards from the government of New Zealand, from a particular agency called the Immigration Advisors Authority, which regulates immigration advisors all across the world who would like to provide information and services for people who want to come to New Zealand. So it was fantastic. And today, as always, I'm coming live on my YouTube channel, on the AJV Global YouTube channel. I'm coming live on my Facebook ID. And also, I'm coming live on our Facebook group called NZ Options. And I'm also live on our Facebook page called AJV Global, and of course, I'm also coming live on our official Instagram, AJV Global Instagram as well, which is why you guys will see me flicking a little from left to right, because I'm coming live from most of the platforms on my laptop, but Instagram, I'm coming live through my trusted mobile phone. So yeah, I came back with quite a few interesting feedback from India. I also came back with those awesome hoodies, which you guys can see, which I'm gonna start giving out to all our students and clients here in New Zealand shortly. So if any of my AJV students and clients are watching this in New Zealand right now, put your hand up and get in touch with Mary or Virginia or myself and say, hey, where's my hoodie, or where's my t-shirt, or where is my AJV cap? See what else I came back for, guys. I also came back with an AJV cap, so quite a few in my bag there. And the other cool thing, yeah, see, look at that. We also got them embroidered. So I actually surprised my entire team when I went to India, and I and another team member called Jyoti, we, quietly got all these caps embroidered with the names of each and every member of our team. And so on the first day of meeting, I distributed these caps to all of them, and I'm hoping that they're all wearing them and sharing it with their friends and family. But hey, look, all your AJV students and clients in New Zealand, also in India, get in touch with your AJV person, whoever you're in contact with, and you can ask either for your cap or your t-shirt or the hoodie. I specifically the hoodie because it's winter now in New Zealand, and I thought our students could do with a little bit of warmth in the New Zealand winter. And so some nice AJV hoodies coming your way, people. So the least we can do for our wonderful, awesome AJV students and clients. Right, cool. Let's get started. I think I also came back with a bit of a bad cold from India because it was rainy, and we did a bit of a walk one evening to go from one place to another, and I got a little drenched in the rain, and I think I picked up a bit of a cold there. So yeah, we'll wait and see how this develops, but hopefully I should be able to hang on till the end of the session without too much of coughing and sputtering and stuttering. So yeah, let's hope the session goes well. Start asking your questions. The questions always have to be ideally, I would like it if you ask them on the AJV Global platform, because that is where I normally have my screen open to that particular feed, as against YouTube or anywhere else. But my colleagues will keep pasting questions if you're asking elsewhere onto this feed here. And yeah, I'll be happy to answer your questions. In the meantime, for those of you who want to get in touch with us, here are our contact details. If you're in India, you can call us on that toll-free number. And if you are, outside India, you can send us an email to there. Or if you're in New Zealand, or you just want to contact our New Zealand team, the details are at the bottom. We have set up a toll-free number both in India as well as in New Zealand. And also, those are the email addresses where you can reach out to us. I think an Instagram is coming as a mirror image. So yeah, so so you guys will have to forgive a little bit of my sniffing and coughing as I try and go through today's uh, yeah, and go through the session today. All right, so we got our first question now. Which says, "Hi Arun, I sent you a message, but I didn't get a reply. My query is, I got AIP mail and said to submit all documents by 24th July, but because of bank loan renewal, it took 6 more days and submitted my all documents by 31st July to AIP, but yet I have not received my e-visa. So I'm worried about that. Please guide me." Hey, Tanmaya, first and foremost, I'm sorry I couldn't, respond fast enough back to your query, because as I said, I was in India the whole of last week, and I only got back and there was a massive pileup of emails and messages, and it took me a while to work through all of them. But anyway, I mean, your case, I'm sure Tanmay, is being dealt by one of our very competent visa officers and team leaders who, as you're aware, are also ex-immigration officers. I'm sure they're on top of it. I, personally do not get involved with individual student applications, especially those applications which are happening outside of New Zealand. Sorry, guys, something just one of my certificates decided to fall down. I had a bit of a start there. So yeah, so I'm sure, Tanmay, that it's all under control. If there was any issue about it, it would have come to my notice by now. It has not come to my notice, which means my team is staying on top of it at the moment. But yeah, like I said, talk to them. And hey, team, if you're watching this, and if you want to give any feedback to Tanmay about his status, please go ahead and allay his concerns, because I can imagine he would be in quite a bit of no man's land at this stage. So yeah, I would strongly suggest that whichever is the team leader responsible for Tanmai's case, pick up the phone and give him a call, and let him know that it's all on track. But by and large, Tanmai, if you have reached the stage where it's only a question of getting your e-visa into place, I think it's just a procedural thing, and immigration department in Mumbai is still trying very hard to clear its backlog. So it has just got to be a procedural delay. I don't think there is anything to be too concerned about, but please do talk to your AJV visa officer and your team leader. As I said, we have an extremely competent team of people. India is now headed by a very senior officer as our country manager. Her name is Tanuva Majumdar. She was an immigration manager with INZ for 22 long years. She's got three team leaders in her team who are also ex-immigration officers who work with the government of New Zealand. So, and of course, there are licensed immigration advisors like myself and Mary and Gisela and the rest of us. So between all of us, we are an extremely competent team. So you don't have to worry about it. If there is a delay, it is just a procedural one, and I'm sure the team will get to the bottom of it. All right. So please pick up the phone and speak to your team leader. And I know a lot of you guys write to me directly and say, "Hey, look, this is the problem with my visa. There's a delay, so on and so forth." All I do is I flick it back to the concerned team leader or to the manager and say, "Hey, look, can you look into this and give a response back to our client?" All right. So yeah, Tanmay, don't worry. I'm sure it will come through, and I'm sure we will end up meeting in New Zealand very, very soon. Okay. So yeah, moving on to the next question. Yeah, I mean, Tanmay has gone on to retire, right? Saying because everyone get on next day, and my case has been 5 days. So I mean, like I said, it's just a procedural thing, and there was also the weekend that came in between. So I think you just have to take all of those into consideration, Tanmay. But I think you should be able to get your visa soon, and we will see you here in New Zealand. We'll put you in one of these nice AJB hoodies, and we'll hang out together, and I'll get to hear more about who you are and your background and everything else. All right. And I just seem to have got an update. Okay, my team's right saying that yeah, that they will be looking into this marathon map, and but also they are wanting you to get in touch with your concerned uh, team leader. All right, cool, awesome. Next question. Okay, right. So Pathurjan Vijayasekara says, "Hi, sir. I was requesting some details about EH fellowship and GIV visa. I hope Ruben had a conversation with you. Hey, Pathurjan, this is a very interesting category of a visa because for those of you who are not familiar, sorry guys, you'll have to forgive me today for with my sniffing. I'll try and keep it as civil as possible. Pathurjan, this what you're referring to, obviously, and for the sake of everybody else listening to as well, is this is a category of visa in the overall array of visas that New Zealand provides to people who want to come into this country. Is It is called the Global Impact Visa. When you say GIV visa, it stands for Global Impact Visa, and the Global Impact Visa is for those people, those entrepreneurs or investors who are working on projects which can have a phenomenal amount of effect on on the globe per se. So, for instance, in fact, during in my seminar in Mumbai last week, I was talking about the global impact visa as well, and this is normally given to people, like entrepreneurs or investors who have a phenomenal idea, and it could be a set of inventors or a set of investors. It doesn't have to be one individual, but who have a fantastic idea and they're working towards realizing the commercial aspect of it and wanting to create a product or service that will redefine a very, very large aspect of the way the globe, people around the globe live and work. So to give a, an example, what I mean, if there's a group of inventors or entrepreneurs who are working on, let's say, creating fresh water out of the moisture that's present in the atmosphere, and they kind of come out with some kind of a gadget or a rig which will do something like that. And so that's the kind of the level of I think impact that would be required for this particular visa. And so what the immigration department of New Zealand has done is, although this is a visa that they eventually grant, now they have collaborated with a foundation here in New Zealand called the Edmund Hillary Foundation, which who are like the administrators of this global impact visa. So if somebody is falling into that category of talent or investment or product or service, then they will need to interact with the Edmund Hillary Foundation. And Edmund Hillary Foundation, which is based here in New Zealand. Of course, in fact, I was once at a seminar where the person who heads this foundation was a guest speaker, and it was very, very um, energizing to listen to the kind of work that they're doing inside the foundation. So that's how the global impact visa works, is that you will have to reach out to the Edmund Hillary Foundation, and you will have to check to see what are their requirements in terms of being able to even make an attempt to apply for a global impact visa, and it'll go through a due process of verification and due diligence to see if that particular idea or product or service is definitely going to stack up to the requirements to make a global impact. And if it does, then of course, in conjunction with the Immigration Department of New Zealand, then you will reach closer and closer to the point where you will be granted a global impact visa, which eventually will lead to residency as well. So it is essentially the global impact visa is also sort of like a stepping stone to eventual residency in New Zealand. So I'm like I said, I'm giving you all the information. Ruben is on leave at the moment, and so you may not be able to get in touch with him. But if you're listening to my broadcast right now, that's those are the details about the Global Impact Visa and the Edmund Hillary Foundation. Pathurjan, what I would recommend is if you are keen to get started, your first stop should be to go to the Edmund Hillary Foundation website and have a look at what are their requirements. What is the there would obviously be an FAQ on the website which says what are the kind of things they're looking for, and you run yourself through that criteria and see if you match it. I must not to discourage you or disappoint you at a very early stage, but you will have to understand this will be a very highly scrutinized kind of an application process because we are looking at people who will create a global impact. So the your idea or for a business or investment has to be something that will stack up to that level of idea and that level of implementation possibility as well. So yeah, so I'd say, have a look at that. And if you think it's something that you will not be able to match up to, and I'm not saying you will not, I'm just saying that it's not going to be an easy category. So then you get in touch with us and we could possibly look at other pathways because there are plenty of pathways into New Zealand if you intend to migrate here and settle down here. And the global impact visa is just one of those pathways. But like I said, it is relatively a lot tougher as compared to, let's say, a study plus settle pathway or a skill migrant pathway. So, but I'm not taking anything away from you and your capabilities. Have a look at the Edmund Hillary Foundation website. And if you think you stack up to that, get started with them. If you still need advice, get in touch with us and we might charge you some money for our time and effort and help you through with the global impact visa process. But in the event that you think, yeah, hey, look, I can't make it to this particular visa category, talk to us and we'd be quite happy to suggest some other pathway to you. All right, Pathurjan, I hope I made that clear to you, and I also answered about the global impact visa because and the Edmund Hillary Foundation, because this is not a category that a lot of advisors talk about. But hey, look, we at AJ we like to talk about every possible pathway into New Zealand, and I'm glad you asked me this question about it. All right, cool. Uh, right, next question. Hey, somebody who's into hair accessories. Hello, I would like to ask. I'm planning to study Masters of Construction in AUT. I'm a senior mechanical engineer with 10 years experience in the Middle East. And my question is, once I graduate level 9 masters, do I have to get managerial job in order to get PR in New Zealand? And will I be working as an engineer after I finish the course? Thank you. Again, first and foremost, you'll have to tell us whether you have already been in touch with us. Um, but like I said, you have not shared your number, Lizzo Hair Accessories. It will be nice if you can share your number with us because the questions you ask will require a detailed explanation than just this brief interaction on a live session where obviously I can't spend all my time answering just one question. But the short answer to your question is that if you complete your master's in construction, it's not necessary you only have to find a job as a manager. You could probably end up working in fact, one of our students, I can think of at least two of our students who have completed their masters in construction and also from AUT. One of them found a job with the Auckland Council as I'm not getting the exact term of that job right now, but he's in the planning department and he basically approves plans of new constructions and stuff like that. So, and he also got his residency by virtue of this job. So obviously we are not looking only at a manager's position. And similarly, another student of ours who also completed the master's in construction management also found a job with another government department in the North Island, and he has also got his residency. So it's not necessary that you always will have to get a manager's position only, and that is the kind of advice you people will need after you come to New Zealand. And I keep coming back to this point over and over again. Any agency, I think any reasonably good enough agency can help you to get an admission and a visa, and help you to get on a plane and come to New Zealand. But after you land here, when you start having all these queries while you're studying, after you complete your studies, that is where somebody like AJV, if you come to New Zealand through AJV, that is going to be the biggest benefit for you, because you can pick up the phone and give us a call, and we are licensed immigration advisors, and we keep offering free advice to our students. Unlimited amount of advice we provide to them, plus we give them free t-shirts and hoodies and caps, and we have this wonderful get-togethers and dinners and picnics and what have you, and the networking ability to meet each other in different cities. So that's the kind of community we are creating. And so yeah, I mean, getting into AUT is a great idea, good course, and more than likely you'll find a job, but you will continue to require a lot of immigration advice. And that is where I think we are kind of pitching ourselves as a company that will not work with you only when you're in your country, but we work with you even more after you come to New Zealand. So I think that's what you got to be doing. So overall, we would like to consider look at working with you. You have not shared your number. I normally do not answer questions when a number is not there, but I started reading your question, and I thought it would be rude not to answer the question. But it looks like you're seeking a good course from a good university, but you will also require good onshore support and advisors. And that's the reason I would strongly recommend choose to work with AJV, and we will take care of you. All right, cool. So please do connect with our team. And the way to connect with our team is there. That's how we get in touch with our team. You have the option of connecting with our team either in our wonderful team in India, or you can connect with our wonderful team in New Zealand. The choice is yours, my friends. We are all the same team, whether we're sitting in India or in New Zealand or eventually in some other countries. We're all Team AJB, and we are all here to do meaningful excuse me, to do meaningful migration that is meaningful, which will benefit New Zealand and also benefit you as people wanting to come to New Zealand. All right, cool. Right, there is a question from Dipanshu Sajal, who says, "Hello, sir. I have one query. I got my AIP but didn't get extension from the college. The next intake does not have my course. Can my AIP be modified as an exception? Shall I write to our student?" Okay, right. Dipanshu, I'm not sure if I don't think you are one of our AGV students, Dipanshu, because if you were an AGV student, we would have already answered this question by now, during our interactions with you. But yeah, technically, if you miss this particular intake, in many instances, immigration department wants you to apply all over again. But if you move fast enough, we might be able to try and have your AIP deferred to the next intake. But for that, you will have to get in touch with us very quickly. Yeah, you can try writing to INZ yourself, but like I said, we are all professionals. We are licensed immigration advisors and ex-immigration officers, and we kind of know the a particular way of dealing with situations like this. So if you want us to take over your case and work with you and help you to and we don't charge you anything because we do get compensated from the institution, so there is no cost here. So if you would like to us to take a professional look at your current situation and how we can try and use the same AIP, or even if you have to refile, how quickly can we put it back in so that you don't have to do your medicals and your police clearance certificate again. We can assist you with all those kinds of advice. Dipanshu, interesting situation, of course, and in many instances, we are able to request and ask for, extending that AIP to the next intake. But sometimes, if the gap is too long, then immigration also would have certain issues because the medicals and the police clearance certificate can expire sometimes. So that's the reason they ask it to be filed again. So Dipanshu, my suggestion is get in touch with our team immediately. There is a 0800 number in India. You can give us a call on 0800 103 6525, or you can just text, send an SMS to 562633, And one of our team members will get in touch with you and gather some more details and understand exactly how we can resolve your issue. All right, Dipanshu, and hope you come to New Zealand as an AJV student. We would love to work with young people like you and ensure that you continue to get good advice even after you land in New Zealand. All right, awesome. Right. Next question is from Prasanna Kumar Samarakun, my good friend. Ayubowan Prasanna. I hope New Zealand is treating you well. Prasanna is one of our wonderful clients from Sri Lanka who's recently arrived into New Zealand. And he writes, Kia ora, no, lovely Prasanna, lovely to see you're already using some Maori in your everyday usage, which is great. Kia ora, Prasanna, kete pe fia koe? Um, Finally, I'm in Auckland. Thank you for all support, making my dream true. My lectures at AUT start from 19th August. Again, thank you so much, and do not have any hesitation to recommend AJV services to my friends in Sri Lanka. Thank you, regards. Hey, Prasanna, thank you so much for that wonderful feedback. And like I said, we are all about working with good clients like yourself, and like I said, doing meaningful migration, which will benefit New Zealand and also benefit you and benefit us us as an organization. So that's what AJV is all about. AJV is all about meaningful migration, and yeah, and most of this meaning comes from when we work with good quality clients like yourself. So thank you so much for choosing to work with AJV because as smart young people, all of you have the choice to work with so many different companies who all say that we can help you to go to New Zealand. But I sincerely and genuinely believe that what sets us apart is the amount of care and concern and continuing relationship we maintain with our clients even after they come to New Zealand. Because as a migrant myself, I know that the real drama starts after you land in the country and not so much when you're still in your country. So, which is the reason we have modified our service and our interaction with our clients to lend as much assistance as possible after you land. And that's the reason we, have a brand new office now in the main street of Hamilton on Victoria Street. So a warm welcome to all our AJV students and clients. Please walk in, grab your t-shirts or hoodies or your caps, and come and say hello to us. Have a cup of coffee, cup of tea. Absolutely, it's your zone, guys and girls. If you're an AJV student, it's your office as much as it's our office, and that office is being looked after by Mary, our senior manager, who is also a licensed immigration advisor, and Virginia, who is also on our team. She's working full time for us. She's actually one of our students who has now joined our team full time. But this lady is also an ex-immigration officer. She was a technical advisor with Immigration New Zealand in the Delhi branch, and so she's also one of our senior people who's also working there. And one more of our colleagues is about to come and join that particular office. And then my dear friend Nicholas, who is also one of our students and currently still pursuing his final year course at University of Waikato, he's going to be part of that office. And yours truly, of course, because I live in Hamilton, I'm going to be there as well. So yeah, we believe that we need to be present for our students. So we are starting off. We are beginning to start setting up these offices all across New Zealand. I strongly think that we will be setting up an office in Auckland very shortly, and which is open for business to AJV students primarily, but non-AJV students and clients are also welcome to come and take our advice. And what you missed all your study tenure, you can now come and take it from us, and we'll be happy to help you. But Prasanna, thank you so much for that wonderful feedback, and as always, it's a pleasure to work with people like you. All right. Sorry, guys, if that looks horrible, please forgive me. Okay. Ankit Vagila asks, Kia ora, Arun, Kia ora, Ankit, Ketapefia. When are you guys planning to visit Wellington? Just got back from India, Ankit, but Wellington is definitely on my agenda very soon. And I shall see you in windy Wellington very, very soon. And it'll be awesome to catch up with you, Ankit, and the rest of our AJV gang there. So I'll be there very shortly. Just got back from India. And as you can see, I'm still recovering from, I think I picked up a bit of the flu or a cold or whatever. So kind of trying to get through the session today. Ankit, Malvia, I'm gonna quickly flick across to my Skype and also catch my breath to see if my team has got any uh, uh, queries or inputs for me. All right. But mainly it's an excuse to catch my breath. Okay, Ankit says, good morning, greetings from India. My name is Ankit. I've completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I am a fresher. I wanted to pursue my master's in New Zealand, so I got in touch with one of the counselors in India. He suggested me to go for a postgraduate diploma rather than a master's because of the freshers tag. Plus, my budget is kind of tight. So my question is, in which field should I pursue my PG diploma as I'm looking to settle in New Zealand? Hey, Ankit, first and foremost, thank you so much for choosing to work with AJV. Much appreciated. It shows that you're a really smart guy, that you're choosing the best in the business to work with. But jokes apart, we will take care of you. And, I give you my word that, we'll give you the best advice and service for you to reach your final goal in New Zealand. Because, as you said very nicely and clearly, you're looking at settling in New Zealand. And it's a long journey. It's not an easy journey. It's a challenging journey, and you will require coaching along that journey. Continuous. In fact, of late, one of my favorite things I'm saying in my seminars and in my live sessions is that even Virat Kohli takes his coach with him when he's going on a foreign trip. So, how about you guys? I mean, you guys and girls will need a good coach like us to keep guiding you at each and every stage of this foreign journey or this foreign trip that you're embarking upon, because you have such a massive outcome as your aspiration at the end of it, which is that you want to get residency in New Zealand or you want to settle down in New Zealand, and which is the reason you need to have a good coach, and that coach is AJB for you in New Zealand, and that's the reason I think you guys and girls must work with somebody like us, because it's easy for a coach to teach you to bat in the nets in your town and put you on a plane and forget all about you. But if you a good coach will travel with you on that on the tour and ensure that you're playing well in each and every match, and that's exactly what we are doing, even if it is not the right kind of analogy. But you probably figured I play a lot of cricket, and but no, that's exactly what HFV is all about. Is we are the constant coaches to you guys on this big long journey. As regards your question, if your a budget is tight, yeah, sure, a PG diploma is good, because a PG diploma is essentially like the first few papers of the master. So if the budget is tight, it's good to get into a PG diploma. And also bear in mind, a master's can be quite a tough challenge, because a lot of students, especially coming from India, underestimate the challenges in the masters in New Zealand, because a master's essentially is at a postgraduate level where there's a lot of self-study involved, and there's little or no support in terms of regular inputs from your supervisors and all that, because at that stage you're at a level 9, which is only one level below a PhD. You're expected to by now have become a person full-fledged. So which is why sometimes we actually advise our students not to take up a master's, because it looks enticing, it looks good to have a certificate which says masters of whatever, but trying to get through that course can be quite challenging. And quite a few students who insist I only want to go into a master's, after the first few weeks realize, okay, this is not my cup of tea, and they go and request to step down and come to a postgraduate diploma, which, like I said, is nothing but the starting few papers of a master's. So that is the reason I think, Ankit, you can quite happily stick to a PG diploma. And the best part is, from an immigration perspective, whether you do a master's or whether you do a postgraduate diploma, you will still end up getting a 3 years post-study work visa, which is great. And 3 years is a long enough time for you to get into the market out there and say, hey, look, I'm a graduate with a postgraduate diploma from a good institution here in New Zealand. So you'll be able to get out onto the job search, and also as a fresher, instead of jumping straight from a bachelor's into a master's. So PG diploma will be a nice little bridge in between. And eventually, if you do find a job and get your residency, you could go on and complete your master's. And in fact, as a domestic student, which means you're not paying international fees. So that's one more advantage. And so what subject should you choose? You should choose a subject that you're already familiar with, which in this instance is mechanical engineering. So because you already have a background in mechanical engineering, I would strongly recommend you get into mechanical engineering related postgraduate diploma, because that's the kind of expertise you have already built over that 3 or 4 years of your bachelor's in your mechanical engineering. And so you need to build on that. So you've already created a foundation. Now you continue to build on that. And that is what will give. Plus, bear in mind, mechanical engineers, like a lot of other engineers, are in the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. So that means that once you finish your course and you get out into the job market, the chances of finding employment are also very high. And so with all those combinations put together, and of course with the assistance of AJV, because we'll be present here for you every day. All you've got to do is pick up the phone and speak to us, and we will be there for you. Ankit, so good choice, well done. Thank you for choosing AJV, and I hope to see you here in New Zealand soon. All right, cool. Right. Okay, Anas Rabah Herzali. He's from Tunisia. Oh, nice. First time I think I'm speaking to somebody from Tunisia. Hi, Anas. Hello, sir. I have one query. I have an offer of place in Wintec University, level 7, and I have an MA in English from Tunisia. Very good. I would like to know if I can enroll at an EDD after finishing the TESOL course. Do you advise what can I do? Thank you, sir. Anis, first and foremost, Wintec is not a university. It is a institute of technology or polytechnic, as it is called, but it's owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. So no problem about it. But just bear in mind, it's not a university. It's called an institute of technology or polytechnic, and it's in the same city where I'm living. In fact, Wintec is about 20 minutes away from where I'm sitting right now. So you have an MA in English from Tunisia, which is fantastic, and you want to do a TESOL course, which is teaching English for speakers of other languages, which is also a good option. So I couldn't quite get whether you can enroll at an EDD. I'm not sure what EDD stands for, Ani. So I'm not quite certain that I can answer that question because I'm not sure what EDD is. I can enroll at an EDD. Is it an education department you're talking about, or I'm not sure. So if you can elaborate your a question, Anis, what EDD is, I'll answer it. But overall, choice is good, and it looks like you have fantastic English because you've written it very well, and you have no spelling mistakes. So obviously, you're a guy who is well versed with your English skills, and you want to continue to do doing that. And what I would suggest is, one of our team members will get in touch with you, and you've shared your number, which is fantastic. I hope they allow WhatsApp and those kinds of things in Tunisia. So one of our team members will definitely get in touch with you, and we will gather some more details, and based on that we will definitely give our advice to you, including about visa processes and all that. Anis, but thank you so much for getting in touch, and it's always a pleasure to say hello to people from different parts of the world. And that's the other thing, guys, AJV being present here in New Zealand, and we are a Kiwi company. This is a legitimate Kiwi business registered in New Zealand, owned and operated by a New Zealander. Sure, this face looks Indian, but technically and legally, I'm a New Zealander. I go around the world with a New Zealand passport. So, in the legal eyes of the world, I'm a New Zealander. So, yeah, this is a New Zealand company owned and operated by a New Zealander, and because of which we are able to, cater to clients from different parts of the world. While the bulk of our clients come from, of course, India, because that's where we have had a bit of a base for many years now. But we are very fortunate and we are very privileged to have and honored to have clients coming to us from different parts of the world. Prasanna, who left a message sometime back, is from Sri Lanka. We've had fantastic clients coming to us from China, Singapore, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Middle East, UAE, Africa, North America, Europe. So we're getting clients from everywhere. We even had some clients from Brazil as well. So even South America is covered for us now. So please get in touch with us, irrespective of which part of the world you're in. And the way to get in touch with us, either you can get in touch with our India team or you can get in touch with our New Zealand team. And yeah, we will get back to you, reach back to you, and give you our most honest advice and our most sincere advice. And like I said, it's all about meaningful migration for you, for New Zealand, and for us. That's what it's all about. All right, go. Tiwari PK. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, my team just tells me what Anish was talking about was a doctor of education. Okay, that's what he meant, a doctorate in education. My team, my very smart team, quickly did some background research and told me. So, if you are looking at a doctorate in education after doing a level 7, Anis, it may not be enough because a doctorate is a level 10, it's a PhD. And to take up a level 10, I think you will require a level 8 or a level 9, which is a postgraduate diploma or a master's, because that's normally the requirement. You got to keep progressing 7, 8, 9, 10. You can't jump from 7 straight to 10. But like I said, we will get in touch with you, have a chat, and see if we can help you to get into your doctor of education. All right. Thanks, team, for giving me that clarification. Appreciate it. Tiwari PK says, hello, Mr. Arun. I'm Dr. Pananjai, one of AJV clients in touch with Jagrati. My query is regarding the prospects of environmental science related courses in New Zealand. I have already done my PhD in environment and would like to take up PG diploma in related course so as to migrate and get settled in New Zealand. Kindly guide me. Hey, Pananjay, first and foremost, thank you so much for choosing to work with AJV. Much appreciated. Jagrati is one of my colleagues, very, very knowledgeable advisor. So I'm glad you're talking to her, just like the rest of my awesome team. So yeah, your choice of environmental science is very good, Pananjay, because as you know, the entire world today is talking about climate change and global warming, and because of which we're trying to come out with a lot of environmental solutions. So in that context, environmental science would be very, very good as a choice because this is the future. I mean, people like you will have to save this world eventually. At the rate we are going from bad to worse, it looks like there's going to be more and more opportunities being created in this particular field called environmental science because it's a fight, I think, now against time to try and save the world. And New Zealand has always been at the forefront of environmental issues, and we have a very unique environment here in New Zealand, and which is the reason we protect it very diligently and quite zealously. New Zealand's environment, flora and fauna, is considered one of the most unique anywhere in the world. So, which is the reason our environmental sciences is also highly developed to help our own environment, and of course, do further research to help the global environmental issues as well. So, I would, yeah, absolutely, it's a great subject to choose. And if you're taking up a PG diploma, you'll get a 3 years post-study work visa after you complete your course. While you already have a PhD, so when you're seeking to do a postgraduate diploma, immigration officer might have a few questions, but we will discuss that during the. I personally don't see any problems about somebody who's done a PhD wanting to do a postgraduate diploma, because we all have our different compartments. In fact, that certificate on top of my head there, is a level 7 graduate certificate after I already had a level 8, so I stepped down to level 7 again. So I personally don't think there should be any issues as long as it is explained properly to the visa officer and case created and put forward, saying why this particular course is being opted for by someone like yourself. Sorry, guys. I was hoping not to cough, but it came through. So yeah, I think good choice, and continue to speak to Jagrati, and we will take it forward from there. All right? Yeah. Man, as good as my trips to India, I always come back with a bad cough. Okay. All right. Next question is from Arpita Kotian, and I want to quickly check to see if my team's got given me any kind of inputs. No, they're all quiet. Looks like they're all either completely mesmerized by my silken voice, or there's nothing they want to talk to me about. Arpita, good morning, Arun. Hi, Arpita. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Yes, pretty good, despite this little uh, lingering cough of mine from my trip to beautiful Mumbai. My husband and I are AJB client. Thank you so much for that. My husband has got the conditional offer letter from University of Canterbury. Great, and we're working on the visa application now. My query is regarding myself. I have 3 years experience in teaching, and I have done diploma in elementary education. I got to know that I need to register with some organization to work as a teacher. How can I do that? Can I do it from India itself, or after reaching New Zealand? What's the process for it? Please advise me on that. Thanks. Hey, Arpita, it is quite simple. All you need to do is, I mean, yeah, to for you to be able to teach in New Zealand, you will need to be registered as a teacher. There are certain professions in New Zealand that need to be registered by the relevant body. For instance, I have to be registered with the Immigration Advisors Authority. So that is my registration. So similarly, you will get your registration card once you register as a teacher with the Teachers Council of New Zealand. So the process is simple. You will need to have your qualifications assessed by the New Zealand Qualifications Authority. Plus, you also need to get the required IELTS score because there is a IELTS requirement for getting registered as a teacher in New Zealand. So, I would suggest just go to the Teachers Council website and research it there. It is all clearly laid out there. But again, there's no big hurry. You could also do it once you come to New Zealand. Perhaps the one thing you could probably do now in preparation is to write your IELTS and get a good score. I can't quite remember what is the requirement for teachers registration right now, but normally it is quite high because teachers are a critical component of any society, and if you're going to be working as a teacher in an English-speaking country like New Zealand, you would be expected to have a very high standard of English. But I'm thinking it has to be 7 or 7.5. So go to the Teachers Council website. Just go to Google and type New Zealand Teachers Council, and you will get the all the details that you're looking for. And if you're still wanting some more details, check back with your AJV officer, whoever is in touch with you, and we will gladly talk you through the rest of the process. All right, Arpita, and don't worry too much about anything. The other thing I like to advise all of you people who are planning to come to New Zealand, I know we all like to be completely prepared and be ready by the time we land in New Zealand, but I also advise take it a little easy. Don't try to get too many blocks into place too early because the migration is like a slow cooking process. You can't chuck in all the components at the same time and hope the dish comes up. It takes its time, and I'm talking out of my own personal experience. So take your time, take a deep breath. The other thing about New Zealand is we are a very relaxed kind of an atmosphere. In fact, see, most of you are coming to New Zealand because you want to escape the rat race, you want to escape the stresses of your work or your current life, whatever. So, and if you're coming to escape all that, I would say take life one day at a time and don't be in too much of a hurry. Uh, get into New Zealand, take a deep breath, enjoy this beautiful country, settle down for the first 2 or 3 weeks, drop into our office, come and meet us, have a cup of coffee with us, get to know each other, and then we will get into helping you to achieve all these things one after the other. And New Zealand has got a nice, easy pace, but things do happen beautifully. And the one thing you will learn is that nothing ever happens here in a hurried fashion. So, which is my constant advice to most of our students and clients is, guys, learn to smell the roses after you come to New Zealand. All right, Arpita, hope to see you here soon. And please go to the Teachers Council website and get some information from there. And if you need further information, I'll yeah, I also speak to your AJV advisor. All right, cool. Bharati Kannan, hi sir, I received offer. Bharti, you have not mentioned if you're one of our students. Bharti, your question is good, but I have no confirmation if you are. Your name does ring a bell, Bharti, so I think you are working with us. So you say you received your offer from University of Canterbury to pursue your master's, but unfortunately you received your AIP after the college joining. So offer was deferred to 2020 February intake. I have submitted all my documents that is mentioned in AIP. when will I get my visa? But like I said, please confirm if you're one of our students, and I'm also trying to see if my team has confirmed. Nothing so far from my team. They normally tell me immediately. But your name does ring a bell, so I think you are one of our AGV clients. And like I said, Bharti, there's excuse me, there is a particular process for mm, once an AIP is given, and if you we are deferring it to the next intake, because from now till February, this is August. So we're looking at August, September, October, November, December, January. Quite a bit of spaces there, and time is there. So sometimes Immigration New Zealand might come back and ask for additional documents, especially if the PCC or the medicals or something is kind of expiring. So they would like to ensure that those are up to date. So if you're an AGV student, I think the best thing for you would be to check back with your visa officer or your team leader. My team has still not confirmed if you are actually uh, working with us. If you're working with us, please check back with your visa officer in the AJV team, and the team leader will definitely get into the discussion as well. But if you're not an AJV client, then I would say please speak to whichever company you applied for your student visa, and they should be able to help you as well. But we have our own process of interacting with Immigration New Zealand and ensuring that it is as hassle free as possible for our clients, where we try and avoid having to refile it. And we convinced Immigration New Zealand, saying it's a lot of unnecessary work even for your team, when you could quite simply just have it deferred and taken care of. But of course, sometimes they'll have their own legal requirements of some more documents being introduced. So talk to your officer in AGB if you're an AGB client. If you're not an AGB client, please speak to your agency, and hopefully they'll help you sort it out. All right? Cool. All right. Shira Sagar. Hi, Aaron. Kia ora, Shira Sagar. Ketepe hiakwe. Which is, how are you? Good day. Is there any process for New Zealand PR? Does New Zealand also have a points criteria like Australia or Canada? If yes, please advise if it is a good option to apply for PR and come to New Zealand, or studying in New Zealand and then look for a job is the only option. You can reach me on 91, and he's given the rest of his number. All right. Shirasagar, good question. And yeah, hey, look, our point system is similar. Yes, we have a point system for the skilled migrant category. And you need to get 160 points at this point in time. That's the latest, pass mark. Although technically anybody who gets 100 points can lodge an application, but I think it's a little futile to do that because it says 160 is the point where you'll get picked up, but you can lodge an application if you have 100 points. Quite frankly, I find it a little silly, to be honest. But hey, look, if some people still keep putting in their applications, even though they get 100 points, yeah, well, good for us. We'll make some money through all your application money, I guess. But bottom line is you need to have at least 160 points to be able to get picked from the pool. And as you know, the 160 points is a combination of your age, your qualifications, if you're married, your spouse qualification, work experience, which area that work experience is, so on and so forth. So that's what it is. But quite recently, they also brought in another condition into this. It's not only getting the 160 points, but you also need to either have an offer of employment in New Zealand, or already be in employment in New Zealand, or you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and procured a qualification, which is a master's or a PhD. So you need to tick off one of these two boxes and also get 160 points. And then you would be able to make an application for a skilled migrant category resident visa. Now, if you're getting 160 points, and if you're not, having a job offer in New Zealand or a job in New Zealand, or you have not studied in New Zealand for 2 years and don't have a master's or PhD, then they may consider you for something called the skilled migrant category job search visa, where you'll be allowed to come into New Zealand on that period of the job search visa, where you can come on a valid work visa. You can then go and look for a job, find a job, and then you'll tick off that box which says, yes, I have a job or a job offer in New Zealand. So that's the way it is working. So trying to get to 160 could be possible for people who come, especially with 10 plus years of work experience in the long term skill shortage list. There is a possibility, especially if you're married and your spouse has also got a good qualification and so on and so forth. But if you're not, then I think a lot of you will actually quite fall short of 160. In that situation, the study pathway becomes very important and becomes, I think, a very viable option because then you invest some money, come into the country, do a PG diploma or a master's, get a 3 years post study work visa, find a relevant job, and then in doing that, you tick off that box, and that's when you apply for your resident visa. So those are the ways to do it, Shirasagar. I have tons of videos about this on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type Arun Jacob, and this face should pop up there on the channel. And yeah, so take a look. And also, yeah, since you've shared your number, my team will get in touch with you and discuss with you the study plus settle pathway. Because in most instances, most of you will not get up to the 160 points, so which means it is a futile matter for you to even consider looking at the skilled migrant category, and which is where I think the study plus settle becomes a very viable option. All right, so good question, Shir Sagar, and we will try, give you put all the options in front of you and take a look at it. In fact, I'd like you guys to go and watch my one of go to AJB Global Facebook page and take a it's a 2 hour long seminar that I conducted in Mumbai last week, and and also unfortunately the first 5 minutes of that video, the audio is blanked out. But if you go beyond those first 5 minutes, I actually created a flowchart explaining all the different migration possibilities into New Zealand. So for those of you guys who are really and girls who are really keen about migrating to New Zealand, please go and listen to that seminar I delivered. It's on our Facebook Global AJV Global page, and you will see all the different categories that you'll fit under. Some people come to us and say, "I have money. Can I, invest in New Zealand and get a residency?" So I've explained how you could be an investor one or an investor two category. Some say, "I want to set up a business," or explain how it could be come under the entrepreneurship category. So have a look, and I'm rather pleased about my effort of creating that flowchart. And my team was saying that's very cool, and I said, "Yeah, yeah, copyrights with Arun Jacob." So yeah, thanks, Shir Sagar. But do have a look at that video, everybody who's keen to know all the different pathways into New Zealand. All right, Tanya Kumar. Hello, sir. I'm planning to pursue. I'm planning to pursue a master's in building construction management in February intake. When do you think is the right time to apply for visa and everything? And sir, if you could link me up with an AGV student who has done the same course, would be a lot of help. Hey Tanya, thanks for writing. I hope you are an AGV student because we would. Uh, So, sorry, Tanya, I was just reading some messages from my team. Okay. So, hey, look, thanks for writing, Tanya. And yeah, it looks like you're choosing a very good course, Masters in Building Construction Management. Fantastic. We have a massive shortage of construction professionals at the moment in New Zealand. So, warm welcome. Please come study, pass, get your post study work visa, and please get into our construction industry because we are really, really short of people at the moment, to the extent that the government has also come out with a new skill shortage list called the construction and infrastructure, skill shortage list. So that's how bad the situation is for us as far as trying to find good quality construction professionals is. So good choice from that perspective. If you're planning to apply for your February intake, the time to start is now, because if I'm sure you've seen there's been tons of delays because of various factors, because of which there's been a lot of delay of so we are encouraging all our clients, our prospects, to please apply ASAP at the earliest possible. Get your medicals done, get your PCCs done, get your loans into place or your funds into place, and apply as quickly as you can. That is my sincere request to all of you. So the time to do it would be now, Tanya. And Yeah, I mean, we'd be happy to hook you up with one of our students who has completed this course. We have quite a few of them who have done a similar course, and they can, of course, if you are an AJV student, we would absolutely happily connect to one of them. So, if you are an AJV student, I would say speak to your HEB advisor, whoever it is, and make the same request to them, saying, "Hey, look, connect me to one of our previous HEB students, and we'll quite gladly connect you, and you can have those one-on-one discussions with a fellow professional from the construction background." But if you're not an HEB student, this is the opportunity for you to consider working with us, because you obviously are here in this forum and listening to this, and and taking some advice, because you perceive the advantage of working with a company like AJB, which supports our students not just in your country but especially after you come to New Zealand. I think is where the bulk of our support system kicks in and helps you guys to kind of navigate these choppy waters with as much comfort and ease as possible. So yeah, that's the way to do it. So but hello, Tanya. Look forward to working with you, and I hope you do come to New Zealand through AGV. And like I said, please connect with your AGV advisor, and they will hook you up with somebody who has also done this similar kind of course. For all those of you who are not AGV clients and that would like to become AGV clients or work with this wonderful, beautiful, amazing, adventurous, happening company, those are our contact details. So yeah, you just send us an email or give us a call or send us a text or connect with us on Facebook, or there's so many ways we can connect with each other in this world today. So yeah, all the best to all you guys and girls. Right, I'm gonna answer one last question, and because my team has said time is up, which means it's time to for those little teeny weeny bells to come out and ring the bell to say my time. Not my time, the time on those live session is up. So Ram Gautam says, "Sir, I'm planned to do MS in data science in the University of Canterbury. So, how is the future opportunity for data science and related field, and also how does it help to get?" Yeah, Ram, excellent course choice, excellent subject choice, excellent university choice, excellent city choice. I hope you're working with AJV, then it will be your last excellent C in place, which is your coach or your consultant choice also will be perfect then. Uh, wh- how good is the scope for this? Fantastic. Data science is again one of those underlying foundations of everything we do in the world today. So absolutely great scope for it, and the University of Canterbury is right up there as a university that you must consider strongly. We have tremendous respect for this beautiful, beautiful university, and we would strongly recommend that you go there. I hope you're coming to New Zealand through AGV, because then we can also connect you to some of our previous students who are also completed courses in data sciences and IT, which of course is in our long-term skill shortage list. So I do think your future will be very good, because you're opting for a very good subject, a very good course from a very good university in a very good city. If you're coming to New Zealand through HW, also through a very good coach as well. So all these components coming together is what will help you to complete that course successfully, get your 3 years post-study work visa, find a relevant job, and we also work with all our students in giving them those guidance as to how they can find those jobs as well. In fact, I hope to find somebody who will actually become like a placement officer. We are still in the search for this particular person, but as and when that happens, of course, that advantage also will come to our AGB students and clients. But in the meantime, the rest of you who are considering coming to New Zealand, I would say please get in touch with us, because guys, yes, it is a business for us, but we do this business with a lot of heart, because we sincere. Like I said, I've used today, for the first time in my live sessions, I used a term called meaningful migration. That's what it's all about. It's got to be meaningful. It's got to be honest. It's got to be ethical. It's got to be moral, and that's the kind of business and work that we are doing at AGV, which is that this process becomes meaningful to you, to New Zealand, to us as an entity, and to the society at large. So yeah, let's come together, let's party and make this thing happen. Right, I think I'm going to wind up. As much as I would like to keep going, 1 hour is normally the amount of time, but my colleague and senior manager, and also fellow licensed advisor Mary Joseph will also come live from Hamilton this week towards the later part of this week. And one more of our colleagues is going to be getting her license sometime this month. So yeah, boy, we're all getting ready to rock and roll and make your New Zealand dreams come true. Okay, thank you everybody as always for watching my live broadcast and following the work of my team and myself. Please share these videos with your family and friend. And as always, a big thank you for supporting AGV. And in return, we will support you and your New Zealand aspirations. Good night. Po Marie.